Wow, I feel so confident in my transgender identity today.
Well, you shouldn't.
Yeah, so, internalized transphobia is a bit hard to get rid of, per se, but this video will talk about how to handle it and not let it affect you too much. Internalized transphobia is transphobia that is taught to us through the society we live in. It's hard to escape it, right? Chances are you've been exposed to transphobia in some capacity through your life. So as a result, the way we think, the way we act is influenced by those things. And saying that it doesn't would be unwise. It's better to think of it as a thing you need to learn to manage rather than a thing to eradicate, because we kinda can't. You've likely experienced a scenario where you were exposed to trans culture, the community, or a trans person, and you thought something that seemed really mean. And it felt not like you, I guess. This really sudden thought. It could even be towards yourself. When I catch myself thinking something kind of mean, I think to myself, no need to be mean, it solves nothing, right? That kind of mantra phrase doesn't make the thoughts go away, but it helps remind myself that they are simply, well, thoughts. It's important to understand the difference between a thought and an action. Right? A thought isn't a reflection of your beliefs, right? A thought is just something that passes through the stream of consciousness in our heads, right? But an action, that's a reflection of who you are and what you believe, right? Thinking or imagining something kind of mean is very different from doing an action that's kind of mean. Your actions determine who you are. Your thoughts, maybe they influence them, but it's more about what you do. Sure, you might think something and then act on it after that thought. But until that action occurs, that thought doesn't really exist. Kindness is something that we do rather than something we are. It's the cumulative actions that we do throughout our life that create this identity of kind, right? Aiming to do as many kind things as possible is a great way to go about it. But just remember that you're not like arbitrarily or inherently a kind or unkind person. If you could hear every thought of every person you walked past, you would be terrified of humanity. Those sudden internalized thoughts that you have, other people have. You just don't hear them. So you construct the idea that they don't have these thoughts, that they are morally good. Let's imagine we're in a park. There's a trans person. We're walking past them. Your brain immediately thinks something rather mean and terrible, mostly just parroting the stuff that you've heard transphobes say. And suddenly here you are, your brain thinking that. Does that make you a bad person? It doesn't determine anything, actually. What matters is what you do after that. If you then walk past this person and just go, "Hi, good morning," and go about your day and be kind to this individual, that makes up for those thoughts that you've had, okay? When internalized transphobia is applied to us in particular, we gotta remember a really important thing. The difference between things we can change and can't change, right? There are things you can change. If you are feeling dysphoric about something and you wanna do actions to feel less dysphoria, you can do that, such as wearing affirming clothing, hormones, surgeries, whatever, right? But there's things we also can't change, right? I can't change my past. I can't change when I transitioned, right? I can't change what experience I had in school. I can't change that I didn't get to wear a skirt in school. I really wanted to, but I can't change that I never got to. That thought might make me feel invalid compared to trans women that have done that. But it's important to remember that I can't change the fact that I didn't do that. I didn't get to grow up as a girl, simply put. I had to, grow up as a regular guy, yeah. Or whatever, right? That's just the life I led. I can't change that. I can't change my height. I might feel insecure about being a valid trans woman because I'm a little tall. Not that tall, but I'm a little tall. But I can't change my height. And that's okay. Maybe I feel my shoulders are a bit broad. I can't really change the actual structure of my shoulders, can I? So it's an unhelpful thing to dwell on if I can't do anything about it. Instead, focus on what you can do. So internalized transphobia likes to poke and prod at a certain touchy subject. A subject so touchy that I've never made a video about it, and I don't know if I ever will. But I'll address it briefly here. Passing. Ooh, this is gonna be a big one. Understand the nature of gender dysphoria is that we are seeing things in a warped manner, right? We are seeing dysphoric traits more pronounced than what anyone else is seeing. Understand that your lens of what's in front of you is different to what other people are seeing. You're quite literally wearing funny glasses that kind of make the image kind of all warpy and stuff, right? You gotta remember the transition isn't about pursuing like a aesthetic perfection. It's not about outdoing other trans people. It's not about being so attractive that the haters will stop being haters. If we transition purely for an aesthetic pursuit, we are no different from looks maxers. Sorry. You don't have to literally look like Finster to be allowed to transition. You know what I mean? You don't have to be a super, super ultra attractive model or whatever. It's whatever. Being a valid trans person shouldn't hinge on how much you meet stereotypes and Western beauty standards that are very, very European white-centric. But if you tie your self-worth purely to how attractive you are, then you're kind of setting yourself up for some pretty easy insecurity. Just remember that no one's a superior trans person or a morally better trans person just because they pass better or fit stereotypes better. It doesn't really matter. It only matters because society has constructed a system to make it matter. Not even cisgendered people can meet the idealized standards of gender, right? And it's okay if when you transition, you don't match the criteria to a T. Because meeting these standards will not make bullies like us. Transphobes are gonna maybe act a bit softer to us if we conform to a certain degree, right? But the fact of the matter is, lovely audience, passing or being aesthetically attractive or meeting certain gendered stereotypes will not make transphobes like you. Simply put, there is no scenario where that will ever happen. Have you ever seen those movies where a girl wants to be friends with the cool kids, but they're kind of bullies? So she kind of chucks her own friend under the bus just to seem cool and become one of them, be part of the in group, the cool girls. But then you learn more and more that those girls are really mean and cruel, and then she ultimately decides to apologize to her old friends and make things right. Unfortunately, appealing to these standards of transphobes is kind of just trying to be one of them and trying to be an in-group. But that's an in-group that will only temporarily validate you. Trans identity can be very complicated when you have all this internalized transphobia around you. All this image of what a trans person should be, shouldn't be, infighting within the trans community itself. It can be easy to think, well, am I even transgender? That's a really common internalized transphobic thought. At least it can be. The thing is, think why you're thinking that. Is it because you're not meeting a stereotypical criteria that's been decided by people that don't really want the best for us? Or is it something that you actually don't resonate with? If you don't wish to transition, you don't need to. Transition because you want to or feel like it's going to lead to better mental health in the long run, better joy, just feeling nice, it just feels better, or just because you want to, honestly. Regardless of the reason you transition, it doesn't make you morally superior or inferior. Everyone's valid either way, even if you don't conform to different images of being a trans person. You might see some binary trans people be really mean to people outside the binary or more gender non-conforming. Unfortunately, that's them letting their internalized transphobia win. If there's someone, let's just imagine like a femboy is just chilling, perfectly happy with being a guy, enjoying some cute outfits, having a nice time, that might make really stereotypical, uptight, transphobic trans women feel very negative emotions towards this individual. And unfortunately, sometimes those people will say things to that person, try to invalidate them. Not because of who that femboy is, but instead, the insecurities that that trans woman is feeling, that fear of not feeling like a valid member of your gender. If there's people transitioning or having gendered expression that murkies the water for cis people to get that this is such a diverse experience, oh no, they might think I'm one of those. Gasp! And those insecurities manifest, they boil. And it leads to trans people being so mean to anyone that isn't them. And then you just became what you hated. And I don't like seeing that happen. You can do what you want, and equally so, other people should have the right to do what they want. We have to be kind to others as best we can. We won't be perfect, we won't be moral angels or whatever. But we got to at least try, right? Don't take advice about transition or gender or what you should do in your transition from people that are mean or say terrible things about you or put you down when you're just being yourself. The only reason we transition is to be ourselves, so why do we feel so obligated to be what other people want? What makes that different from when we were assigned a gender that didn't feel right in the first place? People who put other people down just for being themselves makes me sick. I don't like it. No matter how attractive someone is in a stereotypical sense, if their personality is ugly, why would you want to be near that person? Imagine breaking out of the chains of your assigned gender at birth, finally reawakening and being yourself, your true self, dressing how you want. And then you make your way to a new box. And anyone that doesn't get into the boxes again, you yell at. What does that say about you? These thoughts will try to influence you, and it might make you feel pressured to be a certain way, do a certain thing, or not try entirely. But the fact of the matter is, everyone has internalized transphobia. Even cis people, even trans people. We have been exposed to countless movies or cartoons with men in a dress jokes. Right. That warps our perception. That makes us think, is that how people see us? That insecurity, we need to ensure that we don't let it be the source of anger towards others or ourselves. When you have a thought that feels a bit hateful and out of character for you, just know that you can simply think, that's mean, being mean solves nothing, and then not act on it. That's enough. You're wonderful, you're kind, and you have a capacity to do so much stuff. And I think you should let yourself have some grace. These internalized transphobic thoughts aren't because you're lesser. No. We're equal, and that's the point. Okay? Transphobic thoughts are just thoughts, but understanding why we have them can help us throw those thoughts away a little bit. They'll come back, but we just got to keep chucking it to the side a little bit. And making sure that externally, we're treating the world with kindness and being polite, understanding, and empathetic to others. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the silly like button, comment something really friendly, perhaps a moment in your transition that brought joy. Subscribe if you want to see a weekly trans video. That's right, weekly. As for me, I'm gonna go eat a pizza and play Rhythm Heaven. It just came out today. It's sitting there on my desk. I'm really excited to play it. And if you have any other topic suggestions, be sure to let me know, as this video's topic was actually community voted. So, I hope you enjoyed. As always, stay hydrated and know that you are valid. See you next week.